What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? This tone setter back again. I'm Anthony Fallon. Just want to come in, just want to drop in. Haven't dropped the video almost about a week and a half or something like that. And we're getting a couple views. Everything starting out slowly, so but that's okay. Slow is a good thing, man. But at least people are dropping in. I picked up a couple of subscribers. Picked up a couple of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. And on this one, I'm going off of the grid of talking about crypto, but I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys on this one. So I'm gonna call this one Tone Setter Sports. So I can separate the two. And just sports and just the NFL, but really just break down these sports fans. I'm as a sports fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, to my Cowboy fans out there, no, I am not a fan of Jason Garrett, but I do think we won't find a better coach out there at this moment. So we have to keep Garrett and also keep Linehan too, because I want to build some continuity with Dak Prescott. I think he needs to be more creative with the plays, because that's one thing I've been noticing since Jason Garrett been there. The offense is just vanilla. They are trying to bring back that 90s style. That's just, you can incorporate that, but you got to mix it up at the same time, where it's just, we're gonna run it down your throat and play action pass for the most part. That ain't gonna work. That worked last season. Dak and Zeke's rookie year, because the offensive line was healthy. Stayed healthy the whole season, and nobody knew what to expect from Dak nor Zeke, and so it had a magical year. It was good, and to me, that's the only way that Jason Garrett is going to be considered as a coach. Because he won Coach of the Year that year. Everything has to be lined up just right, and with their main players like Dak becoming the starting quarterback, or started for that whole year over Romo. Then you had Zeke, and Sean Lee played for most of the year. Tyron Smith was healthy. Stuff like that. And even though the defense was still suspect in the secondary, but the front line of the defense was number one in the run offense, is run stopping. So that's a huge thing when it comes to playing defense. If you stop everybody's run, then you make them one dimensional. But although when we went against high caliber offenses the season before, we had problems. But due to the fact that we had a powerful running game, and Zeke was our number one biggest playmaker on the team that year, we went 13-1 the other season. That's what kind of made things go. You know what I'm saying? And if he didn't have a long run in every game, the game was kind of hard. So now let's take it to just this past season. Now we tried to go on with that same effect, but Zeke had to take that suspension, which he should have. Jerry Jones should have let him do that at the beginning of the year. But I understand Zeke wanted to fight for his reputation. That's fine. As long as it wasn't anything that was going to involve you and getting locked up and it being on your record, the hell with what people, the NFL is going to suspend you and label you as. Because if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. I wouldn't. So what? But he wanted to make an example out of you, as being a prime superstar in the NFL, that it doesn't matter if you're a big superstar or not, you're going to get this suspension. So the suspension was not at the best timely manner, and Zeke seemed like he was never in shape, even when he came back. And Alfred Morris was doing pretty good. He just wasn't Zeke. He just wasn't getting those long runs. Those 20-yard runs for touchdown and 40 yards run for touchdown and stuff like that. Um, and at the beginning of the season, I had tweeted. Matter of fact, I had tweeted the year before that. When it comes to the receiving core, um, those guys just don't get open. Um, and I'm not gonna try to bash Dez Bryant, even though I did on Twitter, because especially, I forgot what it wasn't the last game. I think it was the Seattle game when they really needed to win that game, and he was just complaining because he wasn't getting the ball, getting touches. But you gotta force feed him. He's just not getting open. He's just not outright beating his man. Um, and like they were saying, I mean, you saw this on on Undisputed when Shannon Sharp was breaking it down. I mean, he only run but certain routes, so he's been hearing this for a minute now. So it's really not to even bash him, because I think Dez Bryant still can be good. I was been saying move him to the slot, but even the year before, when we went 13-1, remember when Dez was out for like those 3 games, and Bryce and Terrence and Cole Beasley, it was based on them, and plus we had the strong running game and the strong offensive line. You remember how well the Cowboys was playing? Why? Because Dak did not have to rely on just one wide receiver. The ball was equally distributed to everybody, or to whoever was open. And then they had Bryce there, and they used him as a speed receiver, as running the 9 route only. And I'm like, okay, so now let me, I don't want to get nobody confused. So now let's take that to this past season. Now, if that's your speed receiver, he's 6'3", 220, runs a 4.3. Why? And this is what I've been advocating for the last 2 seasons. Why are you not putting him on the outside? Put him on the opposite side of of Dez. Put him on the opposite side of Dez. Run 4 receiver set. Terrence Newman and Cole Beasley running the slot. And the reason why I say this is because if Bryce can run more than just the 9 route, which is cool, which he said he can do in the interview when he had with Skip and Shan and the Herd and everybody else, that whole run, that interview run he went on that for that day or week or whatever. Why didn't you have him in? Because he had the speed to open up, to open up the defense, because he can go over top, with his speed. And that would have opened up everything else under for Dez, for Terrence Newman, and for Cole Beasley. See, this is what I'm talking about with Linehan and Garrett. You're not being creative. You wanted to stay in your 3 wide receiver set, and your wide receivers aren't getting open, and definitely not the tight end. And hopefully, with Rico Gathers now, that's something we might have to watch. He might get more playing time this year. And I hope that going forward into this offseason that they do re-sign Bryce Butler. Why? Because him and Dak has a chemistry. If you want to talk about, you want to look into the draft and get no wide receiver, why? When you got a wide receiver that is willing to come back unless he starts. But also you want to talk about make it more Dak friendly, then you would sign Bryce Butler and bring him back, because him and Dak has that chemistry. But also it will also help out Dez Bryant and underneath routes. You need to open up the route tree for this guy, man. Stop putting these wide receivers in the box. They supposed to expand their game. I mean, it's also up to him too, but you should be pushing them to expand this game. So why even go to the draft when you just draft with Noah Brown? I think he has some potential. Even though I mean I had him on my list as a wide receiver, but I had the guy from Georgia State, and I think San Diego drafted the other guy I was talking about, rookie wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, uh, but Noah Brown, good size. You know, he don't have that elite speed as well. So he's just younger than Dez. That's all. But same kind of build. You know, so who knows what he can do. Now, if it's gonna cost you, it's good. If you have to trade Terrence Newman, trade him. Get a fourth, fifth round pick for him. I don't know. Do something. Cut him. I mean, I like Terrence Williams. I thought he was gonna flourish, but I think Bryce Butler needs to be a starter on the opposite side of Dez Bryant. And I think y'all finally saw the light is that you cannot have a running back as your primary playmaker. Damn, y'all gonna run the shit out of Ezekiel Elliott. Y'all gonna run him to the ground like y'all did Murray the year he had the title, the Russian title, and then y'all shipped him off. You ran the hell out of him. So therefore, y'all gonna make it more Dak friendly. It should be that way. It should be quarterback. It should be led by the quarterback with the running back complementing the quarterback. And it just so happened that Zeke has breakaway speed. That's good. But y'all tried to do that, try to run everything through Zeke. The NFL doesn't run like that no more. That's why they stuck. So therefore going forward, the Cowboys, Bryce Butler, re-sign him. DeMarcus Lawrence, we got to get him signed. We need a backup middle linebacker because Sean Lee has a tendency, he's injury prone. I love Sean Lee. I like the way he plays. But just in case, because we all had Rolando McClain, and he stepped right in and we didn't lose a beat, but we don't have him no more. Okay, I understand that. But yeah, shore up the middle linebacker. Sometimes we need to get a little bit more athletic there too. Even though I like our linebacking core, Jalen Smith should get better. Uh, this is his first year back, so he was pretty much like a rookie. Um, but that I think that's about it. We should just look at shoring up the offensive line in the draft. That's another thing. Getting more depth on the defensive line because we're going small. Man, I liked it better when we had them two. We had some bigs at DT though, you know. And I think we're set with the DB in the DB position. Now we need to make our mind up on the safety positions though, because Byron Jones, I like Byron Jones. I think he needs to be moved back to the cornerback position, or he make him interchangeable because he's not flourishing. I thought he was gonna be more of a ball hawk back there in the secondary, and I like Heath, but I also like Kaiser Frazier. I think he needs some more playing time too, and that's a dilemma back there. It's good to have those guys, but I thought we should have kept Barry Church or Wilcox, one of the two, but we didn't. So that's in the past. But we definitely need to have a ball hawk back there at safety. So hopefully we got those rookies, and maybe one of them will take that will fight for that position, and Byron Jones will step his game up. Offensive line. Sure up that, especially left tackle, left guard. So we gotta make a decision there, and we had a transition with that, with Lyle Collins being kicked over to the right tackle since Doug Free retired, um, and we lost O'Leary. Um, and finding a backup running back as well. I mean, I like Rod Smith though, um, so therefore that's that. Way I think we're gonna keep that as long as Zeke stay healthy. I mean, because he was good in the passing game. He made some splashes here and there. So everything now with the Cowboys this year, really, with draft picks, I would try to acquire some if you got to make those trades. Like Newman, or try to trade Dez Bryant. Get something for him. I don't know. Uh, Byron Jones. You know, or one of those guys in the secondary. Uh, Accumulate draft picks and stop looking for backup players. I draft on Madden. I draft starters as backups, potential starters as backups. Why are you gonna back up? I mean, draft backup players. I want somebody that can come in and either and do just as good or even do better where there is the competition. That's what Pete Carroll does, right? Is competition is to make that way the starters are going to make sure they step their game up because they know their backup can come in and fill their position and take their starting job. That's what it is. That's how you build. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, how they lost Peterson and their middle linebacker, and those backups plugged in and started. And look at it, they didn't lose a step, not one bit. Now that's a team. That's a team. And that's what I want to see from Garrett, is being able to coach when you're facing adversity, when you have to make adjustments, especially second half. I would rather for the Cowboys be a second half team than a first half team, because that's what they were last year. They was just a first half team. And the defense wasn't there. Why? Because we had rookies playing. We had rookies playing in the secondary. So therefore, I was expecting this season not to be so good because they did a whole change in the secondary. Just like they did the year before. When they had, well, actually not the year before, but 2 years before, when they pretty much, they had Frederick and Martin, and they did a whole change in the offensive line for the most part, and that was long overdue. Because it's a shame what they did to Romo. If they had gave him an offensive line when he in his heyday, when he first was starting, yeah, it would have been a lot better. And y'all tried to do that a little too late when he was already injury prone. So y'all have a lot to that's y'all in the front office, man. I think y'all been doing pretty good the last 2 seasons, say last 3, with the with drafting and stuff. But now it's the wide receiving core that has to do better, or we just have to draft some, or we have to go through free agency, which you already have Bryce Butler. I mean, that's all you really need, though. It's not much of a tweaking. We just need somebody to take the top off the defense, and you had one in your hands, but you just can't use them as that. You have to use them in all facets of being a wide receiver: in, out, post, skinny post, and streak. Especially if he got the speed, and he has the physique for it. To be physical, alongside with Dez. But he just opened up the top, and Dez can be the X-Men like he always have been. It's just not down the field. It's just skinny posts, stuff like that. So he can beat those one-on-one matchups and stuff. He just had to run better routes. That's all. Now, this is going to be my bold prediction, Cowboy fans. I'm predicting in the future. Well, it's going to be about 3 to 4 years from now. Do not be surprised. Well, don't. You shouldn't even be surprised because this year, uh, Stephen Jones' son was in the was it the Army All American game? You know, they won. I don't know what school he's going to. Now, I'm going to say maybe he's doing it for just to learn the business of football. But if he ends up being a premium quarterback in college, a star quarterback, because it's going to believe me. Once he's able to play, if he's not a freshman starter, but once he's able to get on that field, news is going to run, and believe me, that we could be set up for a trap. Like this is why we're a mediocre team, been 8-8, and just finally had a breakout season last year and had a subpar 9-7 season or okay season this year, 9-7. Yeah, it's still winning, but still, we had playoff, possible Super Bowl aspirations this season. But I kind of knew that with the whole secondary shift. So this year, this going into the next season, we might be a little bit better and a little tougher to beat, especially with Zeke back, and hopefully more explosive on offense. As far as the wide receivers go, our wide receiver core. Uh, but yeah, the back to the prediction. In 3 to 4 years, Dak might not even be the starting quarterback. Stephen Jones' son might be. Yeah. So we could be just be an average team up until then. I would not put it past me. Now that's bold. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, I think beyond because once I saw it on ESPN, and you know what you would think a grandfather would do, Jerry Jones hugging his son, he's like, yeah, he was a quarterback. I'm like, oh, let's see. Nobody's talking about that though. Nobody's talking about that. So hopefully, we're not being suckered. Keep buying up. I don't buy merchandise. I'm not a fanatic. Just I want to get that straight. I'm not fanatic. I'm a realist when it comes to this. For one thing, I'm a football fan first, Cowboys fan second. I just like seeing good football, but when it comes to a team, I'm picking Cowboys. Absolutely. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Just I just wanted to get off schedule. Just talk about something different other than the cryptocurrency. But I'm gonna make this a separate from my other videos, and so you'll be able to look up make it a separate channel, should I say? Um, but that's all I got as far as the Cowboys. Now it's funny how let's go back to the beginning of this season. Let's go to the off season leading up to this season. For the whole off season, all you heard was the kneeling and the Kaepernick shit. And then once the season began, it exploded with the kneeling and oh gosh, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, and I'm with Kaepernick on that and all that, but the media really hyped this up. It just turned up 100 once the season started, and then it got close to the midseason, and the guys wanted to sit down with the NFL owners, um, and and I guess Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Bolden and all the rest of the guys. I forgot what's the guy from Seattle, and Eric Reed from San Francisco. They split ways from Malcolm Jenkins and stuff like that. So the NFL was going to contribute what $100 million in 3 years, you know, to whatever cause. That's still to me not going to be. Well, that still wasn't clear. So everything kind of shut up after that, and then the NFL season started to flourish. With who's winning, who's strong. You know, with the Eagles and everything showing up. So, but it's funny to me. It's like, why are y'all going to the NFL owners to help with our problems? It's enough. It's enough money floating around in the NFL amongst you brothers to do that. It's enough money in the NBA to have the NFL brothers and the NBA to get together to make things happen. A lot of the crimes and stuff like that, it can go away if y'all was to come together in the entertainment business, sports, NFL, NBA, entertainment world, period. To create jobs. But I don't expect that from y'all. I don't even expect that for y'all. So I'm not gonna say y'all should, but I'm just saying if that was really the case, that's what could happen. For one thing, y'all are not our leaders. Because one of the things that really be pissing me off about the whole entertainment business, period, especially in the sports world, why aren't y'all brothers? Why y'all allowing these companies to own y'all rights? Now that's revolutionary. NBA, NFL players, why are you letting them have your rights? When you should be owning your rights when you're going up, when you have a contract, before you even get in. That would be the first thing I want, is my rights, and have an agent as my advisor. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing, instead of going to the NFL owners and asking for money. Man, get out of here. That's the problem now. So that's some weak shit. As a man, do you know? It's enough of y'all to get something started. Matter of fact, why y'all should be trying to own the development league? You remember they had that years ago? Y'all should be owning those teams, putting those teams together, and getting some of that money. Putting brothers to work in the NFL that's not making the teams and stuff. That's making sense right there. Own your rights. Signing these contracts away for money. Trying to make that max money. Own your rights first. Because if you a player like that, you a baller like that, I would be owning my damn rights. And demanding what I deserve. Shit, the hell with that. But I'm not a professional player. Only thing I'm doing is just saying, do what the hell you want. Because I know how that entertainment business is wicked behind the scenes. Anyway, this tone setter sports for y'all Cowboy fans. I just wanted to finally speak my piece. Peace.